I thought in today's video we would start here. It's a quote by a man, Etienne de la Boétie. He was a French philosopher and writer, and if you go to his wiki, it's actually a pretty good read. The French were the ones that gave us the Statue of Liberty. Resolve to serve no more, and you are at once freed. I do not ask that you place hands upon the tyrant to topple him over, but simply that you support him no longer. Then you will behold him, like a great colossus whose pedestal has been pulled away, fall of his own weight and break into pieces. This is some great wisdom, especially when conducting Maquis operations. We have to remember that we need to maintain the attacks on his supporters. No violence, but like this man says, no support. Now, he's not looking to change anybody's minds, but he's definitely looking to maintain his support base. And the more we can chip and chop away at his little support base, the more he's going to crumble. The fewer adoring fans, the fewer rallies, he's going to start to crack. And there's been evidence reported that he is starting to crack mentally already. I think the idea of not every week getting on a plane and landing to throngs of adoring fans is something that is he hadn't anticipated in actually being president. That he wasn't going to be a king to be worshipped. But I don't want to waste too much time on that. But Etienne de la Boétie. Now, let's talk about PSYOPs. Let's start here. Now, this is a great example, and I've actually, in a few threads, explained this to a couple of people, but I'm going to cover it on the video because I think it's important. This was a setup. This was not real. This was created, staged, fake news. And when you watch this attack, quote unquote, slowly, you'll see it. Now, the people who watched this video, who didn't like Richard Spencer, saw him getting punched in the face, and that made them feel good. So right away they wanted to believe it because it made them feel good. People who support Richard Spencer saw their poor, innocent, dear leader being attacked by an evil left-wing person, but they got it on video, so they wanted to see it to be an attack, a real attack. So both sides had no motivation to look at this and question it at all. So do you see the trap? This guy, Richard Spencer, set this up. People who attack racists in public, people who attack Nazis in public, don't bother to hide their identities. They almost always show up in groups, and they have no problem sticking around later to talk to the cameras about why they attacked the horrible racist, the horrible Nazi racist. And if they would happen to possibly be charged or arrested, that's a feather in their cap. They would love to have that on their record, saying that they were the person that cold-cocked this guy. But that's not what we see here, is it? What we see is some tall white dude off camera, cover up his face, run in, do one punch and run. That's a Nazi tactic. Why would he need to hide his identity? Because he could be identified as somebody who's in the white nationalist movement. And if you look on the left, the guy already had some issues with darkness under his eyes anyway, but now he's saying that. And this punch came from his facing right. And in post-interviews, you're seeing a dark mark under his left eye. So I'm not sure if they bothered to understand the difference between camera and mirror, but I still digress. But it still goes to the point of psychological operations. Don't let this drive you in any way, shape, or form. It's false and it's fake. That's why I preach so much on divesting yourself emotionally. And look, I am a human being. I have my emotional moments. I did with the Reagan thing, and a couple months back I made a really nasty one that attacked Donald Trump about reneging on a pledge, and we're going to cover that here in a minute. So I'm as human as you are. I can only say what needs to be done, not that I'm perfect myself and always doing it. But enough about this. Let's go to this psyop. Donald Trump's been feeling the heat badly since he's been in office. It's really screwing with his head. He's not having time to go fly on his jet and land in front of throngs of people adoring him and clapping for him. He actually has to do things now. And you can kind of see the tension in his eyes and on his face. But what this was is him attempting to give his own supporters some ammunition to get fired up again. To say, look, Donald Trump is doing this and Donald Trump is doing that. Well, Donald Trump is doing nothing but having photo ops. This little dog and pony show doesn't affect anything in real government. The things he's talking about require Congress. We don't elect dictators, regardless of what this man might think. They don't have the power to do this. To say that we're going to build all of the pipes for the Keystone DAPL pipeline in America. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Trump. Are you now the person who can dictate to whom these contractors buy their pipes from? Or from whom, I should say? That's not the role of the President of the United States. It wasn't the role under Obama. It wasn't the role under Bush. It wasn't the role under Clinton or Reagan or Bush Sr. or anybody else. I love these people. They spent the last 8 years railing against Barack Obama and all of his, executive orders, the fewest in 100 years. But this guy, first thing, starts ruling by fiat, and they're just, yay, clap, 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 we love dictators. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of this little dog and pony show. Now, I don't know why this glares so badly, but it's Donald Trump way back in the primaries when he was forced to sign a binding pledge to support whoever the GOP nominee was. And it was the source of my rant when he decided to, humiliate a bunch of electors and say that they needed to honor their binding pledges to their states to vote for the winner. But he reneges on his own pledge. But he's smart because he signed this and he, called all the cameras to show that he did it. But then when he reneged on it, he went on CNN. Why did he go on CNN to do it with Anderson Cooper? Because he knew that Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and Alex Jones and Bill O'Reilly would instruct all of his voters to never watch CNN, to never click on any links from CNN, because it's all fake news and it's all lies apparently now, right? Even though there was video of him talking to Anderson Cooper and reneging on the pledge. But he knew his supporters wouldn't see it, and not enough of them would see it in time to say anything. It goes to this moron. 8 years. What does he say? Obama's going to take away your guns. Obama's going to take away your guns. Obama's going to take away your guns. Never happens. Never even was attempted to have happened. And what's the result? Yep. 100 million guns in the last 8 years. More gun buyers okayed under Obama than Clinton or Bush. So, when these people decide they want to choose a certain group of news outlets to get their news from, they're actually very fearful of having anything reported that's different, regardless of whether it's the truth or not. So you can't let yourself get caught up in this as well. You got to remember who your enemy is. That's your enemy. That's the person. In your local neighborhoods, these are the people, non-violently, whose heads you have to mess with. You've got to keep them depressed, neurotic, and looking over their shoulder. Stick with the items that they have no argument for. Donald Trump is a draft dodger, provably so. Donald Trump is now pro-Democrat with his position on the TPP. And eventually, when it comes out and he starts to speak about Israel and about single payer, which was coming, we will put that out as well. All the other stuff is all nonsense, and it's all bluster. Stay focused, folks. What you're doing is working, and you're doing an incredibly good job of it very quickly. So, just understand that this is going to be the long haul, but I will be here to help you out with United States Army training. So, I hope everyone's having a great day. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.